Hello, I'm Fandom. I will be the general manager of the upcoming Felmis project that is set to release sometime in the summer of 2024. And the idea here is that we are going to make this, as much as possible, feel like it was back in the day. We want that excitement to come back because, in all seriousness, that was the best time we ever had playing World of Warcraft. First and foremost, we want this to be a permanent server that's going to be online forever. We just felt that these seasons were too short-lived, and people are investing a lot of time in this, and then it's just sort of over in a very short period of time. So another thing that we feel is a large problem with the game, especially after playing Classic, is that the game is just too easy now, and Classic was too easy. The counter-argument to that is, how do you make the game harder without really changing the game? Because we want the game to remain pure and feel like it did back in the day in the original release back in 2006, 2007 days. But we have a very innovative idea that we're going to divulge upon in a future video. But it's not going to be some kind of cheap trick like scaling items or any other sort of variable upgrades or updates. So let's go into a little more detail as to why things being too easy is bad for the game. First of all, I played the original game. Things were just more difficult. PvE was much more difficult. Bosses were more difficult. When PvE is so boring, you just kind of show up, go through the motions, and you down the boss anyhow. That's not very fun, at least in my opinion. And when something is not challenging, it can't be fun. So that sort of goes along with faster leveling and leveling boosting and exploits to make ridiculous amounts of gold per hour. Part of the fun is the grind. Part of the challenge is the grind. And again, the fun comes with the grinding and the challenge. They all go hand in hand. You're going to invest your time in something, you should want to invest your time in because it is challenging to you. It's a lot more rewarding in the end. So again, this is really what we want to hammer home with this server, is to bring the challenge back and bring it back like it really was in the nostalgia days of the original game. Another thing was that back in 2018, we fixed a very long list of gold exploits that existed within the game. And then Blizzard comes out a couple years later, and these exploits are now back in the game, and it becomes basically the norm, and it's acceptable. And these were all deemed as exploits and cheating when we fixed them, but now Blizzard has flipped everything upside down in its head again, and now they're okay again. So ultimately, we really want to make this server feel like the developers back in 2006, 2007 intended their game to be. We also had some pushback in the community last year. They wanted quality of life improvements, faster leveling, and we feel that that's not really the solution to any of the problems. There was another server that was released with quality of life and faster leveling, and it just sort of flopped. So we're really going to try to stick to the original 2007 version of this game and keep it very simple and exactly how the developers wanted it to be. So just to wrap up some key points here, obviously there's not going to be a cash shop, which means there's not going to be any boosts of any kind. As far as factions are concerned, we don't think cross-faction was a good idea, so that's gone. But faction locks, on the other hand, which did get some pushback originally, are staying. Especially since it's more accepted now, and people know for sure that not everyone gets to play Horde. Going along with that, we don't see the point in giving Seal of Blood to Alliance, because flavor is a part of the game. Alliance Protection Paladins get something over Horde Retribution Paladins, and that's the general idea. And the rest of the racials are going to stay where they belong as well. Which brings it all back to the question of 2.0 stats, and as you probably have guessed, we're going to stick with that. On that note, that means no easy mode for gear in the form of reputation, attunements, and so on. But we're not going to be unreasonable, and for leveling, even though we're going to stick with 1x, we're sticking with version 2.3 1x, because as we said before, it's a pacing that makes more sense when everyone is starting at level 1 instead of level 60. In terms of difficulty, we have stated that the content here, because it's 2.0 content in terms of numbers, it's way tougher than people probably realize. But we do sense that people want even more of a challenge beyond that, and the innovative idea that we mentioned before is going to make this happen, but it's not going to be some kind of cheap trick, like we said, and scaling items or any other sort of variable upgrades or updates. And it will be the main topic of our next video. We definitely feel that it will work, but it will also breathe some fresh life into the game. But aside from just gameplay, there's the question of in-game moderation, which was a little murky at first last year. And a lot of it revolves around Discord. As a result, we're not going to use Discord, and we will be going back to forums. And that's where we want discussions outside of the game to take place, of course. And public chat in-game will be strictly moderated with AI. While the forums, if you don't want to read them, you don't have to. And there's sections of the forums for serious discussions as well, which is a lot more organized, we feel, than Discord. And also, forums were how it was in the old game. Discord did not exist, so we're trying to bring some of that spirit and nostalgia back. So with all that being said, if you have any thoughts, questions, feedback of any kind, feel free to use the forums, which are located on our website, and we will get back to you promptly. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Take care.